and we're live. Okay, I'm going to show you, well, this is something I'm working on right now that I have to do, but it's kind of a virtual reality world. I'm trying to make modern buildings and stuff here. But let me show you kind of some basics. Is do a new scene. Save. Everything starts from a primitive. A primitive shape is one of these. A cube is the most common one to start with. I clicked on that. Now it's really small because my scenes are set to be huge sizes. So, but it's there, you just don't see it. So what you have to do, if this happens, hit R, it'll bring it to the scale, click and drag, you'll have that. To navigate, hold Alt, click and drag in the empty space to rotate. Hold Alt, right click and drag to zoom in and out. You can also use the scroll wheel to zoom in and out. Hold Alt, middle mouse click, and you can pan. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Now, I want you to just focus on the geometry. This is a model, and it's also called geometry, also called mesh. I'm going to hit W, and that lets you move it in they call it translate. Translate X, translate Y. As I move this, you'll see an update here. Press R, and it scales. So that's there. And then E will change the rotation, and it rotates along a certain axis, right? And you can see the axis described right here on the icon. Control Z to undo. Now, the way we model is we select the face, and you can pull it, right? You can also do the R, which just like earlier, how I had you press R, you can scale it. R is for scale, E is for rotate, so you can also rotate this. And W is for moving, so you can move it. So really, it's kind of an organic thing. It's very flexible, so you can do something like that, And then a common thing we do is Control E, it's extrude. Now you'll see the controls change to this. You just pull the blue one, and it'll extrude another surface from the surface that you selected. By the way, I did this really quickly, you didn't notice, but I hold down right click, go over to object mode to cancel out of that mode so you can do other things. Another very important thing is to go to edge mode by holding down right click and going up to edge. Same earlier we did object mode, this time's edge. And you can choose edges. You can move it, rotate it, and morph it. But more importantly, actually, is making a ring around this so we can change, add shape. So we're not only dealing with these faces. To do that, hold down Control, right click. So this is a different set of menus. Bottom left says Edge Ring Utilities. Go down there and opens another menu. Now we got to go to the right to Edge, Ring, and Split. And boom, you'll see a line go through your entire set of polygons. And by the way, each one of these faces is a polygon. Face is a polygon. Up here I have a HUD that shows you the number of faces total and the number of faces selected. So if I don't have anything selected, it looks like this. When I click on it, there's 16 faces on this. I go to face and I click on one or hold shift and click on another one, you'll see that's the number selected right there, 2, 3, 4. So by the way, I went to face by holding right click down to face mode. So we got object mode where you can move the whole thing. You have edge mode where we can deal with adding or removing edges. And we have face mode where we choose the faces. Okay. And really that's like, just knowing that alone, you can do a lot. You can model like a ton of things already. But let me show you some, to actually make something, properly. Let's just continue on this shape. Let's say I want to Let's say I'll just add another edge loop ring. So just see again, another ring here. Say I want to extrude this thing. Do Control E, pull it out. Okay. Control D for dog is to duplicate. You can just duplicate infinitely. Control D, Control D, Control D. Okay, now you do see it going away. It's disappearing because of something called clipping. The camera can only is only set to view a certain distance, but you can change that. This is a very common thing we need to do, is go up to the camera button right here. Boom. Now you're going to see a set of options. This is not what you want. Everything you choose will have a multiple set of options. Right? There's a menu. So just with the camera, same thing. Clicking on this means you're adjusting your current camera now. And just go to Attribute Editor, this one, and far clip plane. You want to set that to, just type in like a few more zeros, and now it will, be visible from further away. It's turning black because our near clip plane is too small. Set this to 100 instead of 1. Now it's normal. It's something that trips people up in the beginning right away sometimes. So that's that. Now, another thing I need to show you is, let me open this up. Let me crack this open so you see what a model is actually made of. I just made another split right here. Go to face. I'm going to choose these faces. By the way, I hit F to zoom in. If you accidentally have something else selected, hit F and it'll, you kind of know, right? Just F lets you hit F and it'll pop into what is selected. So I'm hovering outside the model, clicking and dragging, just going like this, hit F, and now I can view what I selected. You want to be careful because if I were to do this, you might have selected more than you need. So just imagine, by doing this, it is selecting infinitely in this direction. So anything that crosses the path of this rectangle is going to be selected. You can also get a better view by hitting the number 4. You're going to go in wireframe mode. Just get a better view of in kind of this X-ray mode. Number 5 is the default. Number 6 is with texture. You see that just pop open. 6. We don't have any texture, so it's gray. Number 7 puts you in the lighting mode. If we had any lights and stuff, the lights would show up. So number 4, 5, 6, and 7. Those are the different ways of viewing. Anyways, I'm going to take this and I'm going to split it. So to split it from this, all you got to do is come up to this little icon right here. This is the shelf, by the way. The shelf has different menus. And if it doesn't look like this, check the shelf mode. The mode might be an animation or something. It looks different in another, well, I guess that's up here. Okay, so ignore that. But basically there's different tabs there.
If I'm helping you, am I primarily staying in modeling mode?
Yeah. Stay in modeling. Eventually when we get into render, we'll be in rendering mode, but that's for up here. But anyways, yeah. Now, just hit this little button right here, extract, and it just separated the two. You'll see one became white line, one's green line. That means there are multiple models. Go back to object mode, just click on it, hit the W key, and you can move it. Now on the inside, I just want you to see that it's hollow. This is different from a model for 3D printing. 3D printing models are called solids, where it's never hollow. You can basically slice through the middle and it'll be solid. Just imagine it like concrete. But all polygons for animations and games, they're all like this, all geometry, all 3D models. It's all hollow on the inside. The only reason sometimes it doesn't, two things collide and you don't see through, two things don't go through each other is because they have another model duplicated on top of it itself like this, called a collision. This is a collision model and they make it invisible. This is automated in the game engine, so you don't need to worry about that unless you're working on the game much later on. Now, with this, I just want to show you you can move the pivot to different points, and you can snap this to different points. Okay, I want to show you just snapping. Hit D for dog, and that puts you into this pivot mode.